welcome to Zanzibar. I flew here from Utah, and from Utah to Amsterdam, it was like an 8-hour, 45-minute flight. Had an hour and a half layover in Amsterdam, and then took another 8.5-hour flight to Zanzibar. Luckily, I got like an entire middle row seat all to myself. I had to like fight somebody for it. Not like really fight, but just kind of have these stewardesses tell me that it was mine. It was great. I slept so good. I did my visa online, and so I had an e-visa. So there's two ways when you arrive in Zanzibar you can do this. It's either you pay cash, which ends up being a really long line, or you can try for the e-visa, but I would make sure to do it like a month in advance because then you don't have to wait in those lines. And I just zipped right through. I was literally through customs and everything in like 5 minutes. The drivers, if you have like a tour, which I really recommend because the driving here looks a little crazy, and they do drive on the opposite side of the road from the US, and their cars are switched as well. So it's kind of like driving in Scotland or England, which I've done, but still kind of crazy because it's like driving that's like flowing like water, and the infrastructure can be a little bit bad. Like kind of feels like you're four-wheeling sometimes, and it's just because of the torrential rains that they get during the rainy season. We arrived, I met my driver, and it took about 15 minutes to arrive in Stonetown from the airport. And I am staying at Dhow Palace. It does have AC, mosquito nets, a pool, and is right in the center of Stonetown. So this room is really cute. I am staying in room 22, which has a view overlooking the pool and a balcony that you can sit on that opens right up to the sky so you can look at the stars at night too. The beds are pretty comfy. They do have 2 fans available as well as a hot shower. It has kind of an Ottoman style hammam-like looking tub shower thing. If you're new to the channel and just watching this for the first time, watching me for the first time, little tidbit here, I sweat a lot and it is very humid and it's very hot. So I'm just gonna say welcome to the sweat fest. I'll show you a little bit around town if I can wake up, because 18 hours of flying, 23 hours in airports and blah, 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 kind of took its toll on me and I am shattered. So I'm gonna go to bed and I will show you a little bit more of the hotel in the morning, hopefully, and then the breakfast they offer as well as Stonetown. They have these really cool old locks. So you slide that back and then this comes off of that, and then you can open the door. Dhow Palace is a 150-year-old building that has such a historical significance for Stonetown. It was once owned by a wealthy Arab merchant family and then converted into a hotel. Throughout the hotel, you can find Omani and Swahili antiques, and it is a great center point in the city of Stonetown to explore. They once used coral to build and strengthen the walls of these buildings in Stonetown. My first day in Zanzibar and Stonetown was going to be pretty short, as I was headed out to Nungwi with the African Oriental Travel Company, a scuba diving company that we were going to be scuba diving an entire week out in Nungwi, so stay tuned for that video. Zanzibar is actually really famous for its doors that had the Indian and the Omani influences, and every door has a unique story. It was kind of like a sign that they would put outside to let you know who lived there. And you can find some of these signs like the flowers, or sometimes they'll have tea leaves if it was a tea merchant, or spices if it was a spice merchant. And then the Indian influence actually comes from these spikes that were on the doors, because in India at the time that this area was established, there were some wars going on, and they would use elephants to break down the door. The spikes on the doors would prevent the elephants from actually kicking in the door. So the influence still came over here, even though there haven't been any elephants here in Zanzibar. You will find beautiful paintings of sunsets, Dhow boats all throughout Zanzibar. But the paintings that I would pick out are the ones called Tinga paintings. These are small dots and caricature-like elephants and animals and people that represent Zanzibar and Tanzania. A very poignant theme for me throughout this trip is a Swahili phrase called pole pole, and it just means slow it down, which is really hard for me to do, but it's the essence of what Zanzibar is. Relax, you're fine, take it easy, connect with the culture, and enjoy your vacation. These are just some of the photos I captured on that incredible trip. Make sure to sign up for the scuba diving group trip emails below so that you can be the first to jump on the opportunity. After the scuba diving trip, we headed back into Stonetown to explore a little bit more of the city. We're out here in Stonetown. This is Foradani Gardens, and this is where you're gonna find the food markets here. Now, a little tip from the locals, you do not want to eat seafood here because it does stay out a couple of days, and so unless you're wanting to risk diarrhea, I would stay away from that. But you'll find a lot of local eats, drinks, ice cream, music, dancing, and a lot more. So let's go check it out. The next day, I was off into the jungle for a spice plantation tour.
We call it touch me not, because when you touch it, it's slippery. See?
Yeah.
In scientific name, we call them mimosa.
Oh.
So even when there is a heavy wind, when it's blown, it slip. Slip. Sleep. Sleep. But this one is very nice for the asthma. Jackfruit! Usually the one among of the biggest fruit in the world. Per fruit can contain starting 5 to 10 kg. From European countries, for the people who are vegetarian, they use this as their meat. But here in Zanzibar, we was never used it as the meat from this fruit. We used it as the normal fruit. Inside of it, there is the white or yellow flesh which surrounded the seed. Usually we eat that flesh. Tasty like a pineapple, like a banana. Mixture of that two fruits. Mwah.
We're starting our tour of Stonetown, and this is my guide. What was your name?
Ali.
Ali. I will put his information in the description box below.
We have royal family doors, we have Arabic doors, we have Indian doors, and we have mercant doors, and we have Swahili doors. So this one was one among these doors. This is known as Arabic door. It's got Arabic inscription, and it is known right Bismillah here. Top of the door here. If you see
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so during our tours, we got to see different type of doors are made in here in Zanzibar. And during our tours, we're gonna see the former slave market, where slaves were brought free from parts to Africa, East Africa, West Africa, and were brought here for auction. And here we've got so many stuff. This is a panoramic view of a high view of Stonetown here. Okay, and the material used in this painting is about banana dry leaf. This one.
Yeah.
Which is crowded here in the evening, and it is really busy. And when you come evening here, you find the people are crowded here, and people sitting here, chatting here, and watching telly after long working hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So the royal female dog has got crown on top. So during our tour, you're gonna see those royal crown dog, known as royal female dog, has got crown on top. So I think at the end of the tour, you're gonna see this dog. I told you already, this is a royal female dog, has got crown on top. So if you see the crown dog has got crown on top, this is a feminine royal dog. Then we take the pieces and then we combine it with water. And then we take a fish wherever and then it's ready to eat. Mostly kids are taught on Quranic classes here, especially in morning classes. Zanzibar, there's something there is a religious tolerance here in Zanzibar. We have a Christian here, and during Christmas and Christian can go there outside and servicing, and during Ramadan, Muslim can go there and pray. These two religions are so friendly. There's a religious tolerance here in Zanzibar. Well, different parts of the world nowadays, people are fighting on religious issues. In Zanzibar, hakuna matata. The former slave market here, and the slaves were taken different parts of Africa, West Africa, and East Africa, and were brought here inside for auction. The main participants of this trade were Arab themselves, India and Mauritius. A number of slaves was brought every single day here. And then we can see the slave chamber, a slave monument exhibition, and the last one, former slave site. This is a former slave market, and slaves were taken different parts of Africa, East Africa, and West Africa, and were brought here for auction. A number of slaves were brought every single day here, and behind the altar there was a huge tree. Slaves were weeping there. Those slaves who cry louder, their price will be less, and those slaves who don't cry, the price will be higher. The reason why they weep them because they want to check them how strong and heavy they are. There was one man known as Tembo. He was Arab descendant. He went to Congo to buy a number of slaves and ivory. The more he buys the slave in Ivory, in Congo, the people nickname him Tinga. This man tried to shoot the people there in Congo and Mandir here in Zanzibar in 1905, and he started the business when he was 18 years old. He had a wealthy man at that time, and he had about 10,000 slaves only at that time.
Just 10,000?
10,000 slaves at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, he had money, and he was the first man to have a gun. And another man is Dr. Livingstone. Dr. Livingstone comes from Scottish, and came here 1840s and go back to Scotland 1856. And later on come back to Zanzibar. Here he bought two freed slaves, Abuba and Susie. You can't free slaves if you don't buy them. You need to buy them and then to free them. So Dr. Livingstone bought two freed slaves, Abuba and Susie, and he went to Zambia. Unfortunately, he died on malaria disease. That time, those two freed slaves, they do a surgery as operation. They take Dr. Livingstone's heart out of his body and they dig the hole and put it under the sand. Later on, they plant a tree, on the tree become hoji, they make it a cross. You see that cross is a sign of Dr. Livingstone. Another man is Edward Sear. He was the first bishop of this church and he was the first builder of this church. He was friend of slave. The same picture there, first one is the Bishop Edward Sear's grave, and the second one is a sign of whipping post, the place where slaves are whipping. So this building now converted as a church, at the same time as a museum because there's vertical historical information. Water without food, and some slave has to die, especially kids, they can't survive. And look now, we are only two people, me and you, but we found our body is waiting and we need to go out quick to get fresh air. Think about that time. Think about number of 75 women and kids who are chained, not only sitting here, but chained here.
75?
75 women and kids.
Wow.
Not only sitting here, but chained here. They cannot break it and they cannot run away from the slave master. And that time it was dark, there's no light. Wow, sitting here, chained here, for 2-3 days without eating, without drinking. The reason why to check them how strong and healthy they are. Some slaves, they can't survive, they have to die because of suffocation. And this story you see here, used as a toilet, because outside of the building there was a grate connected to the sea. When the ocean tide happened, it come to flush.
And you were saying it's because of the tribes warring that they would conquer the weaker tribes?
Absolutely, yeah.
Those are the ones that would get sold for the money.
Yeah. And there was a different classes of slave here. in Zanzibar, there was one type of slaves known as a sonia. This was working in royal family or sultan premises. Okay. And some slaves working on plantation here. Zanzibar, we have two islands here, Zanzibar and Pemba. Zanzibar is a major production of coconut plantation, while Pemba is a major production of a clove plantation here.
I'll go into much more detail on the slavery in Zanzibar in another video, as I know that sometimes this can be triggering for those who are descendants of slaves. Oh, stomach. Okay. Very cool. Coconut. Yeah. Lots of spices. Yeah.
This one,
Okay.
vanilla.
Yeah.
This one is a You have with the spices for the gift packs. Vanilla, we have two kind of vanilla, like this one. This is the vanilla incense.
Ooh,
And
very
then we have the
good.
vanilla coat.
Yeah.
Vanilla powder also. And this one, the spice soap is good for the skin. You make your face like baby more than now.
All right, sugarcane juice for the first time. Wow. That is so good. It's not super sweet, but it's just sweet enough. Like, make it really nestle in your stomach and feel so fresh. And this is where they do the coffee and... I didn't have time to personally do the traditional coffee serving, but as a cultural experience, I highly recommend it. The cat collection here at Foradani Gardens. They're all waiting for their meal. Don't worry, somebody's bound to drop something. There is so much that you can do and see in Zanzibar and in Tanzania. I would narrow it down to what interests you most, but leaving a little room to learn about the history and the people. And above all else, pole pole. Enjoy your vacation and let me know in the comments below what interests you the most. See you in the next one.